Valerie from Lexis. Thanks so much for watching. I'm going to do a really quick video for you just to let you know the quickest way to find on-point cases for sure. So I'm going to start with something really simple right now, and I'm going to type in cell phone location. Oopsies. Right here, okay? What I'm looking for when I type this is what the most recent interpretation is of whether or not you can use cell phone location to determine somebody's whereabouts for a crime. Does that violate the Fourth Amendment? So it's a pretty simple search. I just kind of actually went all with facts, no law, and I'm going to click over here, right here. Now, generally speaking, over the last millions of years of legal research, we've all been doing research saying, okay, I'm gonna look at number one, I'm gonna look at number two, I'll look at number three, like this in a linear fashion. The way that I want you guys to do it from now on, if this resonates with you, is click over here on Ravel View. It's our newest product that takes artificial intelligence and it basically just reformats the way that you are going to find on-point cases in a visual way. So it's Ravel View. That's the key thing. You want to be able to make sure you remember where to click it. Okay, so what am I seeing here? Just quickly in principle, the biggest circle will be the most cited case in this particular area of law based on our search terms. That's number 9 on our cite list, Jones, US v. Jones. The bigger the circle, generally speaking, the more influential that particular case is in that area of law. Here's Riley v. California. Okay, also a big circle, influential, and of course, these are both Supreme Court. Now, how do I know that? Because we have organized this by jurisdiction. So Supreme Court first, circuit, district, and then down here we do it by date. So the stuff on this side is going to be the most recent, and the stuff on this side is going to be the oldest. So now let's go back into the Supreme Court quadrant for a moment. We like Jones. We know it's a good case. You can tell in 2 seconds that it's a good case. You move here to Riley. But then what about this little case over here? This teeny little one at the very edge. Well, I know it's a recent one because of the date, because of the way the date line works. So I'm going to click into this. See here, now it populates on this side. This, in fact, is the most recent interpretation of whether or not, from the Supreme Court, of whether or not you can use cell phone location if it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. Now, this is interesting. Research has shown that most legal researchers do not go past the top 10 on their cite list before making a new search. So that means, in theory, because this is number 11, you could have missed this case. This is actually probably one of the most important cases on your cite list. Very easy to see it this way, because if you know you're starting with the Supreme Court, you're going to want to see what all these little dots are and how they're connected. So that brings us to our next point. What are all these little lines coming out from these cases? I want you to think of these as these are just like other little family members that show the interconnection between case law. There literally is no other way to do this, and it is so compelling for you to understand how your case is related, how the cases on point are related to all other cases on this quadrant. So let's just do it this way. Generally speaking, the Supreme Court lays out the major rules, right, in their cases. Then we go down to the Circuit Court to see how they are interpreting the Supreme Court decisions. So let's click this one. We already said that the biggest circles are the ones that are the most influential. Now this case came out before Jones, right? I know this because of the date. That's why it's not connected. Now I'm going to move over here. Now look at here. This case is connected to Skinner. It's a whole family. So Jones is connected to Skinner. It's also connected to this most recent case, which is a lower court decision of US v. Riley. And it's also connected to this case, which actually I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Oh yeah, here we go, which is Graham. Now look at how much activity Graham has stemming from it. The reason is because Graham is actually one of the cases that was overruled in one of these Supreme Court cases. That's why it has the red stop sign. So I know that because I can tell between the interconnection of all these cases. It's a really quick extremely efficient way for you to find out not only what the major cases on point are, find cases that you might have missed over here in the corner, but also quickly see how lower court opinions are interpreting the upper court. Now, final point, sometimes you want to see how a particular fact is being used in your cite list. You can search for that here. If I want to say, okay, well, let's search on the Fourth Amendment. I can search it, and that's going to repopulate this given that new search. This actually doesn't change, actually, because they're all talking about the Fourth Amendment. So let me give you another example. The cell phone site information is what they're using here. It's a statute that they're using, so you can search for it in here, and then it's going to reimagine your list. Okay, so only the circuit court citing to that particular thing you care about. They didn't talk about in the Supreme Court, and now you know. So I'm going to talk about this in a lot more classes. If you have other questions, always you feel free to reach out to me. So thanks for watching.